We're looking at incest victims potentially giving birth to their own brothers or sisters. We're looking at doctors being jailed. We're looking at police questioning people about miscarriages. I mean, that is a police state. Michael, is that small government? Is that limited government? Because to me, it looks like
that is limited. Yeah,
it looks like Christo-fascist religious extremism. Christo-fascist religious extremism.
Michael Knowles just completely nukes, annihilates woke soy boy Brian Tyler Cohen live on the issue of abortion. And this is one of the issues that, as a mother, I feel the most strongly, the most passionately about, because if there's any life we should be protecting in the world, it is innocent baby lives. There's no such thing as a non-innocent baby, and their lives deserve protecting. They can't fight for themselves, and it just pisses me off more than you guys even know when the left tries to use the whole anti-big government, pro-freedom, pro-whatever. It's like, really, all of a sudden you guys care about bodily autonomy when it comes to the right to kill other people, other babies. It's disgusting. It's grotesque. And Michael Knowles is one of the best. Ooh, gosh, that rhymed. He's one of the best at dismantling this insane woke ideology. Let's just get straight into it. By the way, make sure you like today's video, subscribe. I post 2 new videos every single day. Comment, orange heart, MAGA, pro-life, whatever. It helps boost the video in the algorithm. It would really help me out, and we'll get straight into it.
Same people who warned that Roe was not in danger are now warning that same-sex marriage is not in danger, contraception is not in danger.
Okay, let me just say this one point real quick. It's not Roe v. Wade, it's Ho v. Wade. Comment that. It's funny. Let's piss off the left. Let's have some fun here.
Interstate travel are not in danger. If we listen to these people, when they had promised us that Roe wasn't in danger, we wouldn't be in a country right now that's just had 50 years of precedent and a woman's right to her own bodily autonomy stripped away.
Well, I'll say just for my own part, I have never suggested Roe is not in danger. I have always been very hopeful that Roe would be overruled because you're discussing bodily autonomy. I'm all for the bodily rights of babies in the womb. And after the Dobbs decision, of course, that didn't even protect the rights of babies in the womb. It simply returned the issue to the states where it had always been until this ridiculous decision in 1973, which is no more.
And let's be quite frank here, guys. I'm all for smaller government, leaving issues up to the states. But when it comes to murder, do we allow murder to be legal in some states? Obviously not. But the left doesn't view abortion as murder, even though that's precisely what it is. So I think it should be blatantly abolished, not allowed to happen in anywhere, but of course in all of America. Come on.
All right. I mean, we're looking at more than 50 years of precedent. And you mentioned some of these cases: Griswold in 65, Eisenstadt in 72, Roe in 73, and Casey in 1992. All of that is precedent upon precedent. And claiming that the court is only correct now that it's following your specific political and or religious views shows that you're just interested in cherry picking decisions that comport with those views.
Brian, are you familiar with the Dred Scott decision?
Yes.
The Dred Scott decision, which said that black people can never be American citizens. That was also Supreme Court precedent, right? Would you say that the court was right to overturn the Dred Scott decision?
This is the first time that the court has reversed a decision to take away rights, and it has stripped that right from half of the population. And the practical impact of that is that, in real life now, we're looking at a 10-year-old in Ohio who would have been forced to give birth to her rapist baby. We're looking at incest victims potentially giving birth to their own brothers or sisters.
Listen, the R word, which I can't really say here on YouTube, I'm probably gonna have to edit that out. Fun. Thank you, Brian Tyler Cohen. And incest, those 2 instances count for half of 1%, literally 0.5% of the reasons why women get abortions. And just because something terrible happened, I'm very sympathetic to people who have been, forced to get pregnant against their will. That's obviously tragic, but 2 wrongs don't make a right. This baby is innocent. The baby did not perpetrate this crime against you. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not at all. My sympathy goes out to these women. It's a tragedy. Are 2 tragedies going to make her feel better? I would love to know.
We're looking at doctors being jailed. We're looking at police questioning people about miscarriages. I mean, that is a police state. Michael, is that small government? Is that limited government? Because to me, it looks like
that is limited. Yeah,
it looks like Christo-fascist religious extremism. Christo-fascist religious extremism.
The case you're referring to in Ohio, Brian, by the way, the 10-year-old who was reportedly raped, she actually, by the Ohio law, would not have been prevented from getting an abortion in Ohio, regardless of what you think about pro-life or pro-abortion. That she may have gone to Indiana, but she wouldn't have needed to. But furthermore, when you talk about rape and incest and all of that, that accounts for far less than 1% of all abortions. Statistically, 100% of abortions are elective abortions. I think those should be gotten rid of. And I think the Dred Scott analogy is important here, because the Dred Scott decision from the court said that black people are not really people and they can't be American citizens. And the Roe v. Wade decision from the court said that babies are not really people and their existence and their value depends simply on whether they're desired or not by their parents.
This is such a good point that Michael Knowles brings up. Seriously, such a good point.
And both of them are horrific, and it's very good that both were overturned.
If it's only just a small percentage rape and incest, that 1%, do you agree with an exemption for rape and incest then?
Well, it's also kind of curious that people make these two distinctions between rape and incest. I don't know of a whole lot of consensual incest, so we're really...
I hope this host actually asks the same question to soy boy Brian Tyler Cohen. If you could take away, if you would only make legal abortion in cases of incest and, you know, the R word that YouTube does not want us to say, so I have to be very careful here, would you be okay with banning all other abortions? Of course not. So they only bring this up, the most extreme, crazy cases that account for less, or that accounts for less than half of 1% to 0.5% of the reasons why women get abortions. They only use it to try to prove their argument and appeal to emotion. It's disgusting.
Just talking about exceptions for the case of rape, and the liberals always try to argue from the absolute most hard cases. But the argument for pro-life is that a person is a person, no matter how small, and also an abortion does not fix anything. Abortion will not get rid of a rape. Abortion will not undo any sort of crime. Abortion does not even make any lifelong, take away any lifelong responsibilities or anything like that. There is such a thing as adoption. You can deal with very difficult, horrible circumstances in a way that will not increase trauma to people, as abortion does, and will not lead them to commit horrific actions and to end a human life.
Exactly. By the way, guys, if you like videos like this, make sure you subscribe and like, because YouTube censors people that speak the truth like me. So help a girl out. Let's get back to it.
We're running out of time. Brian, last word to you.
I would just say to that, I have two things to say to that. One, it doesn't matter what your opinion on this is, because this is not your body. It's not your choice. You're not the one who is able to make this decision for anybody else, regardless of how easy you, Michael Knowles, thinks it is for somebody to put their child up for adoption. The second thing I would say is
it's very
a lot easier than killing your child.
there are 36 couples for every one newborn who's put up for adoption. 36 couples who want to adopt in America.
Here's the thing: whether we're talking about abortion or gay marriage, you know, these are people's lives that you're messing with right now, all because you think that your religious beliefs are licensed to dictate how other people live. And what's craziest for me is how you guys...
I was pro-life while still being an atheist. Before I became Christian, I've always been pro-life. Not a religious belief, dude.
Shove this idea of limited government down everybody's throats, and yet the people constantly stripping others of their rights are Republicans. If you don't want an abortion, don't get an abortion. If you don't want a gay marriage, don't get gay married. If you don't want to read certain books from libraries, don't read those books from libraries. If you don't want to identify differently, then don't. But why should nobody get these things? You know, with all of these things... If you don't want to commit a murder, don't commit a murder. Hold on, Michael, let me just finish my point. With all of these things, you lose nothing. All that happens is that other people enjoy equal rights, and yet conservatives' beliefs are apparently so goddamn fragile that the mere existence of people who are different from them is somehow a threat to you.
What is he talking about?
I don't think any of those platitudes mean much of anything. We just don't want babies to be killed in the womb. You brought up this point,
But these aren't,
Brian.
Michael, these aren't babies. And if you wanted to use the 1% example, if you wanted to use the 99% and 1% example, 99% of these...
Sick.
Abortions happen in the first trimester, and also they're not babies. They are embryos. They are non-viable embryos. And beyond all of that,
Brian, do you know what the word fetus means?
What a woman does with her own body.
Of course,
Brian, I don't know if we're going to... There's one very important point to make, even beyond pointing out that the word fetus is just Latin for offspring. The important point to make in responding to what Brian said,
Michael, depending on the gestational stage, These are not all fetuses. They are
all human beings
zygotes,
and
then
they're all alive.
embryos,
But
then fetuses.
All right, I don't.
They start as zygotes,
there's
there's
one-
embryos.
Okay, we're not all going to talk over each other.
And then they
separate.
become babies.
All right,
There's one important point that Brian made that I have to respond
Lastly,
to, which is,
okay.
Brian, you said that because I'm a man, I do not have any right to have
It's
an
because
opinion
it's
on
not
abortion.
your body. That's the point I was making.
I would notice, Brian, and I hate to assume your gender, that you are also a man and you are opining on abortion. And more importantly, the Supreme
Calling out the leftist hypocrisy. I'm here for it.
Court that decided Roe v. Wade, how many women were on that court that
Ooh.
decided that issue?
Of course, that
It's not a matter of your
Oh, all of a sudden it's not a matter of gender. All of a sudden when it's convenient for his stupid argument. Got it.
gender. It's a matter of it not being my body. It's a matter of it not being your body. That's the point.
Okay, we're going to end. We're going to end it there because we got to end it somewhere.
What an absolute disgrace and a joke that soy boy Brian Tyler Cohen is. Listen, as a mother who's carried a baby to full term, you absolutely know there's a living being inside of you. That's why when you go to Planned Parenthood, they shield you from ultrasounds because they don't want the mother seeing that there's a heartbeat. They don't want these women seeing that there's a living being inside of them. They want to make it seem like they're a clump of cells, a parasite feeding off her body. It is truly very sad. And I pray for these women, honestly. I pray for them all. I pray for the babies, pray for them all, pray for the women. They're being lied to by society, by the left, by soy boys like Brian Tyler Cohen. And it's a tragedy and it's horrific. But I'm really, really happy that Roe v. Wade was overturned. And if you made it to the end of the video, make sure you comment an orange heart. It helps boost the video in the algorithm. Help a girl out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.